Hey, folk. Good to see you again. So, I'm trying to do a little bit of my own therapy here. So I'm sitting outside, getting some sunshine on my skin because I really need to. The weather's actually kind of nice out here, so I highly recommend it. Sorry about the hair. The grandson's been pulling at it all day. It's been a bit of a long day. Um, so it has come to my attention that a lot of people are watching these, which is really cool and kind of nerve wracking at the same time. On the other hand, I'm going to be honest with you that I'm doing these more for myself than for you because when I talk about this stuff, I feel like I have some kind of control over it. And that's something I need right now. And you probably do too. Um, Sorry, I have people paging me. I need a sec. So there's a bunch of stuff that's happening all around us. Um, One of the things that I want to ask you to do if you're especially if you're on Facebook or Snapchat or any of the really social networks, is please verify what you're hearing. So, a few days ago, there was a thing going on about how to make your own hand sanitizer. And that was bad because if you verify the science, you discover that it waters it down so much that it doesn't actually kill the virus. On the other hand, all that stuff about hand washing, we have actually a ton of proof that that works. So, wash your hands, but don't make your own hand sanitizer. Unless you follow the CDC's recipe. The CDC posted up a recipe today for those who want to try making it at home, whether as a science experiment with the kids or because you can't find any. That's okay, because the end result will be more than 70% alcohol, which is what the threshold is that you need to make it effective. So, um, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of misinformation out there. So the first thing I want to say is please be careful of where you're getting your information from. There's a lot of people who are just jackasses and they're putting out stuff that's not true. So verify everything. Um, I post on my personal page about the COVID-19 trackers that you can go and you can look it up online. There's a zillion of them, and honestly, any one of them that comes from a reputable place like Johns Hopkins and whatnot, they're going to be fine. So you can just go and use those and look them up, and you can see the numbers. I will say that there has been a thing going around Facebook where they talk about how our numbers are mimicking the numbers in Italy and in Spain, and that we're only a few days behind them. That actually does appear to be true. Um, I'm seeing a fairly decent correlation. And of course, correlation does not equal causation. I understand that. But it is something to think about. Um, we're following in their footsteps, but we're doing social distancing earlier, but it only works if people actually do it. And I know an unfortunate number of people who are scoffing this. We're saying it's overblown or um, downright calling this all a lie and that there's nobody actually sick. So I will say that I've talked with friends of friends who are in Spain. I have talked with friends who are in England directly. Um, yes, I can't believe I actually have to say this, but yes, there are people actually dying. And I'm going to say this really bluntly for the younger crowd. Okay, in Italy, the largest morbidity rate is the group of people aged 30 through 50. It's not just old people. Okay? When younger people think that they are able to run around and just be free of this, or pray it away, or magic it away, or if they just use enough Lysol on their hands or whatever, you endanger not yourself, but everybody else. The problem is not that you're going to get it. Okay? As a 20-something, if you get it, you're probably going to be fine. As an almost 50-something, I'm probably going to be fine if I get it, although I'll probably be damn miserable. But it's the people who aren't going to be fine that are the problem. Okay? And those are the pregnant people, newborns, as we've recently discovered, and older people, and that's people over 50, which is not that old, okay? I just let it put that out there. Be kind to people, okay? Please be socially distant. I know this hurts. As somebody who stays at home all the time and isn't experiencing a whole lot of dissonance because this is my life, I am stressed out about this. I can imagine how difficult, I don't know, but I can imagine how difficult it must be for people who are out there who don't retreat, okay? It must be awful. But by God, reach out like this. Reach out online. Reach out on the phone. Please stop going places. On top of everything else, as a person who is small L libertarian in belief structure, I gotta say, what happens when we don't behave as a rational society is that government steps in. And at no point do I really want the government to have to step in. And they only have to step in when you all are stupid and don't do the right things. And it offends me. And it hurts me. It hurts me to think that there's a group of people out there who are so lacking in common sense that they cannot see what's going on around them. That they cannot look at something and say, well, I might have to go to 5 or 6 funerals if I go out, but if I stay home, I might not have a lot of money. Okay? Right at this particular moment, if you're living in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Vermont, Rhode Island, or Maine, you can't be evicted. Nothing's going to get disconnected. There's free internet. Okay? If you want to believe that this is a social utopia and that it's socialist, I don't even freaking care right now. Please stay home. Please. Because I do not want the National Guard to come into my state and enforce this shit. I want us to do it because it's the right thing to do, not because some daddy figure or mommy figure had to come in and tell us that. Please engage your common sense. If not for yourself, then for everybody else. I don't want the government to have to make you behave because I don't think you'll learn anything. And I realize that I'm preaching to the choir here and that none of these people who are doing this are actually listening to me right now. But I had to say it out loud because it's kind of what I've been dealing with all morning. And I'm having a really hard time with it because some of it is people that I really, really love. And that's hard. That's really hard. I know that some people can't socially isolate, okay? I know that there are people out there who have to go to work, who will either lose their jobs or whatever, or who are nurses and doctors and truckers and dentists and veterinarians who can't be replaced and can't work from home. And my goodness, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being out there, for being on the front lines. Thank you for doing this. But if everybody else doesn't step back, we're going to look like Italy, only 100 times worse because we're 100 times bigger than Italy. And I don't want that. I don't want to see row upon row of coffins, even if it's just old people. Some of them old people are people I'm very much in love with. You know what I'm saying? If you're stressed about the whole schooling situation, I'm going to be really blunt Not that I'm ever not blunt, but I just want to put this out there, okay? If your kids lose a half year of school because of this, it is not the end of the world. We'll all go back to school in the fall, or we'll figure out this distance learning thing and we'll deal, okay? It might mean everybody's off target by 6 months, but that's not a catastrophic thing, okay? Go hug your damn kids. If you can't hug them for some reason, call them, video talk with them, Skype, whatever. I'm not really full of uplifting messages today. I'm sorry. So last night, well, yesterday before I logged off for the night, I posted up a thing on Facebook and I said, did you know that panic attacks can mimic the symptoms of COVID-19? And I did that kind of half tongue in cheek because it was kind of amusing. A friend of mine had posted it and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And I guess I must have had a perfect storm of events last night. I woke up at 2:00 this morning with what I now know was a hot flash, but at the time I was not awake. So I was drenched in sweat. I was shivering and I had horrible stomach cramps and I couldn't breathe. And then I remembered my own post. So I did the responsible things and I went downstairs and I checked my temperature, which was completely normal. And then I did the deep breathing exercises, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. And I did that a couple of times. And then I did the 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. And honestly, it doesn't matter which ones are which. I'm changing them all the time, but it's the act of actually thinking through them. And by the time I was finished doing that, my stomach cramps were gone and my body temperature, I had regulated again. So it's really easy to kind of jump to conclusions right now. There's a lot of hysteria going around. And I wish we could find a place that is not way over here none of this really exists. And way over here, which is everybody's going to die and we have to spray random people with Lysol and wear masks 24/7. There's a middle ground that's not a panic, but is preparation. And that's where I envision us all going. So work with me here, guys. Let's work together to find a balance, okay? So, remember I said back on Monday how as New Englanders we're always deficient in vitamin D. So step outside. The weather is beautiful. I still need a jacket. It was fine. Wear a jacket, step outside. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't even have to walk if you don't want. If you still want to be online, I have my computer. I'm sitting out here. I got the computer on a chair and I'm talking to you guys. You don't have to do a whole lot. Just get outside and let some sun get on your skin. Check your mail. Check your mailbox. See if you got your tax return back. Come outside, look at the plants. Look around, talk to your neighbors over the fence. Excuse me. Walk up and down your driveway, walk around the block if that's your thing. But get outside and get some fresh air. The fresh air helps a lot. The sunshine helps a lot. None of these are cures, okay? And I'm not trying to say they have some kind of magical ability because they don't. But they make you feel better and they bring your blood pressure down and they help to quell the panic and the feeling of being trapped. Okay. So even though I'm just sitting on my front step, I've calmed down a lot and I think that's a good thing. So I'm going to keep it short today because my grandson's inside sleeping and if he wakes up, I need to be able to go in, but I love you guys. Okay. Let's keep pulling together. If you have younger ones who are insisting on going out, talk to them. I don't know. Tell them how much you love them and just try and deal. I don't want to cut people out of my life, but if I have to do that to protect my family, I will. And that sucks. I don't want to make those choices. So I love you guys, and I'll check back in tomorrow, okay? Maybe tomorrow I'll take you on a tour of the beginning of my gardening here. So I'll see you guys, okay?